apparently I did all this work and it wasn't recording. So I had 2 of these nicely lined up, filled with, as I said, it was 12 hoppers grinding, and I had 2 of these. And so basically I'd done 24 hoppers of grinding, and I didn't even get to film it because obviously I didn't press the button hard enough or something. So I've just done 1 load there, and I was making the joke like hoppers instead of coppers sort of thing, and 5 gold rings and all that sort of thing, but it didn't get to the camera, unfortunately. So yeah, bugger. But I suppose if it works we'll do it all again. And I was talking about, as I was moved the camera over here and got it all down and everything. Oh, what a wasted. I hate that when that happens. It's just gone to the ether, fellas, basically. Gone to the ether. And I was putting this in there, and I was talking about the fact that, if I can remember to say it all again, is superphosphate is quite acid when you get it straight out of the bag, and it's usually about pH of 1 actually on the granules, because when you slake it, it loses some of its acidity. It sort of stabilises itself out. And I was saying that acidity could have problems with our organism. It could be too acid for our organisms to grow. Maybe they like to grow in alkaline conditions. Also, you can have problems with sulphur at those sort of acid levels or thing. It could be the fact that we don't have any sulphur in this that could be allowing to grow what we think is a yeast or something that clouds the water and produces the bubbles, and of course the bubbles are flammable, of course, and now I'm going to run out of water, aren't I? And we're saying that the bubbles, what are they going to turn out to be? Methane, acetylene, reductive flammable gas. Could be a combo, of course, or something completely new that we don't know about. But, okay, sorry about that. And we'll just turn it off again, as you do. Just to keep it wet, fellas, and stop it from firming up, which I don't think it's going to do anyway, because I think we know that from previous experience. And as I was saying, I may have to add 1 more part to this when I mix the 2 together. I don't know. So it's going to absorb water anyway from the container. I was saying with the sulphur compounds, it could be forming anything from H2S to sulphur trioxide, sulphur dioxide, and so on and so forth in acid conditions, sort of thing. And small amounts, but enough to destroy any mycorrhizal relationship, kill off organism, maybe a yeast. Because don't they use metabisulfite to clean stuff when they're doing beer? I'm thinking, so it obviously kills off yeast and yeast-like organisms when you're cleaning stuff for beer. Maybe that's the trick. You got to have high alkaline phosphorus, but no sulphur, and then you can grow your yeast. And maybe the yeast is the first organism in a cascade, and then that's eaten by maybe a cyanophyta and so on and so forth. And then you go, they say that yeast is a fungus, and then you could have things like penicillium. But that's a more complex thing. Of course, that also puts out antibiotics, of course, and that can change the environment completely as well. Trying to keep the resources to itself, sort of thing. But penicillium, as I was saying on the other clip that got to the ether, and also cyanophyta apparently can fix nitrogen from the atmosphere, but there also seems to be some information coming back from some of our data that maybe there's also a physiochemical fixation of nitrogen from the atmosphere, so it could be a combination of the 2, or we've got to sort out which pathway the plants are actually on. Are they on a physiochemical pathway, or are they on a purely biological one? So the nitrogen is coming from organisms growing in the soil, but they only grow in the soil when you do particular combinations of factors, you know. And the fact that we've all been told they don't like calcium has not been strictly true over time, and so we've never got to this stage where we've noticed things, you know. Remember I said a few years ago I thought I had, I was playing around with copper in blue chalk and stuff, and I thought a frog had laid some eggs in the water. Maybe it wasn't a frog laying eggs in the water, maybe it was some, you know, some sort of fermentation reaction going on. I don't know. Maybe I'd done blue cement as well. I'd have to go back and look at all my stuff on the hard drives, the, you know, little movies and photographs I took all those years ago. I've got some old hard drives, I can look at it all up. Which is why I used to do all that videoing work, so I can go back and review stuff, you know. Because I've got a poor memory, so you know, it's not just for my poor memory, but it's also for other people in the future. You can also show work done and things like that, because they say you always should be paid for work done. And if you can show you've done work, you ought to be paid for it, surely. So anyway, we've done that. Yeah, I'm gas bagging a bit here, fellas, because as I said, it was a much better talk when I did it the first time. I'm trying to re-go over old ground and also add stuff accidentally as I go through it, you know, which is not the way it happened the first time, unfortunately. Okay, well there we go. This might be the indicator one here, where we sort out the men from the boys. And we find that the problem is your idea that they don't like calcium is not strictly true. It's the fact that there's a problem with chalk, because it contains, and not only contains sulfur, but it can actually absorb sulfur, and that sulfur is being released, and maybe it's being released in acid conditions, which are killing off certain organisms that you want in the soil in these bog situations. I don't know, but we're going to find out, I reckon, over time. Okay, just sorry you missed you missed seeing all the work I did with these bloody things. I had 24 hoppers worth of bloody cement there, and cut myself again. So yeah. Okay, well that's about it. Time to pot it up, I think. Yeah, see ya.